Welcome to Hello Port Hueneme. I'm Tom Dunn, your host, and today I'm at the Hueneme Beach Plaza at the junction of Surfside Drive and Market Street. You know where that is, that's where all the flags are. And today we're going to do a video tour of the Port Hueneme Lighthouse. We're starting at the promenade and we're walking down to the lighthouse. You can see the seawall, the ocean, and the islands as we walk down the promenade. You can see the lighthouse coming into view, and shortly we will be at the gate. This is where the visitors access the lighthouse the third Saturday of every month for a tour. Now we are standing in the front of the Port Hueneme Lighthouse, and this is a plaque telling a brief history of the lighthouse. Well, we finished our walk down the promenade to the lighthouse, and you saw an outside view of the lighthouse, and we did a nice panoramic view of the ocean and the port. And now we're inside the lighthouse. And I'm with Norm Budnick. Welcome to Hello Port Hueneme, Norm.
Hi, Tom.
Norm is the tour coordinator of the lighthouse. And as we walked in, the first thing I noticed is what is right behind us. Can we show the people? What is this and where is the lighthouse? What happened?
Okay, well this is the first lighthouse that was built here. And this was built in 1874. But it's interesting that this is not what you'd normally expect for a lighthouse. You normally expect them to be the conical shaped buildings. Mm-hmm. Well, we had two of these that were designed to be on the east coast along the main area. They got somehow diverted out to this area. One here at Port Hueneme and the other one down at Point Fermin down in San Pedro. That one is still standing. This is a replica of that particular lighthouse. Now, what happened is this was lived in by two families. They maintained everything. And this house was replaced in 1939 when they built the harbor here. So that, up until then, this was the area. Each family had 2 acres of land to grow things on. They grew soybeans, raised their own cattle, chickens, etc. So they had an income in addition to living here full time.
Never dreamed that this would, I've never seen that. All I've seen is, like you said, the conical shaped,
right
out in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
So this is really interesting.
Yeah.
I noticed over here you have a storyboard. Norm, I see that we have a, let's call it in our business, a storyboard.
Yes.
Explaining what went on. Now this was started in 1874, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Go through this briefly and show us what has gone on here.
Okay, well, when a visitor comes in, what they can do, they can expect to see the actual pictures of the house, the grounds that were here, because again, this was their home. They lived where they worked. You know, this was from the early time. They had some outside houses which contained equipment like this, which were the sound-producing equipment. Mm-hmm. Prior to electricity coming in, they used steam generation, which meant in addition to keeping the light on and clean, they have to keep the steam boiler going. One of the most interesting pictures is this one right here. It actually shows when the harbor was starting to be dug, they actually cut the harbor all the way to the lighthouse, because what they did, they put a barge up here and took the lighthouse, lifted it up, house movers, put it on the barge, moved it to the other side of the harbor, backfilled this whole area and made the existing building that we're in.
Wow.
So it was quite a process.
Yeah, you would think a lighthouse is just something there that spins around and throws the beam out. But now, were a lot of the lighthouses like this, or was this really unique?
This is unique because this was, again, a New England style house, which was self-contained. There are a lot of other lighthouses along the coast that have houses attached to them, but their towers are pretty much freestanding.
Meaning of lights. I have no idea what this is.
Well, that is the light from the lighthouse from those early 1800s. It's a Fresnel lens. Mm-hmm. Be more precise, a 4th order Fresnel lens. Let's take a look at it.
Okay. Okay. Norm, this is a lens, I suppose. I couldn't tell by looking, so why don't you explain to us what we are looking at?
Okay, this is what's called a Fresnel lens. It's actually a fourth order Fresnel lens. There were 7 different orders of lenses that a French mathematician physicist by the name of Fresnel designed in the early 1800s. And by order, what we mean is in the old days when you could buy, remember buying an incandescent light bulb? Mm-hmm. You could buy a 50, 25, 75, 100, etc. Well, countries or major regions would shop for a light to be shown around their coast. Just like you would go for a light bulb, the country would buy one of the size orders from Fresnel.
So what range, I guess the bigger they got, the more lenses?
Exactly.
It's shown out further?
Absolutely. This is rated at 12 miles. So what happens is it captures the light on the inside, the vanes, or I should say the prisms, at the top and bottom, captures the light, puts it into the center prism, and it comes out as a 10-degree beam of light. So that beam can be seen 12 miles away.
What's the farthest that they shoot out?
22 miles.
22 miles.
But that's called the first order lens, which is about 20 times larger than this.
Wow.
So to get the extra 7 miles, they had to get something that was almost 18 feet high. In fact, that can be seen at the Santa Barbara Maritimes.
Okay, this is what I said. What on earth is this? Where did it come from?
Okay.
Can you tell us what we have here?
Right. This, starting at that end of the room, all the way down here, and walking down here, this is the original flagpole that sat outside the building, the lighthouse, in the early 1800s. And in fact, this is the top piece of it. You know how you normally see flagpoles and they have the copper top?
Yeah.
That's the top for it. And there's an interesting story about this. A family in Port Hueneme found this in their yard. When I say found, it was laying in the ground. It had been on the ground for 60-some years. You can imagine what it must have looked like.
Yeah.
They researched it, found out what it was, contacted the city, who contacted the Coast Guard, and it ended up here. They refinished this, by the way. That is some beautiful work on that. And imagine the time and effort that went into that.
How did it get from here to somebody's yard? Any idea?
Who can tell?
Yeah.
There was a case one time where one of the lights from the lighthouse ended up in a real estate office in Malibu. So I don't know how these things get there, but they have a way of vanishing.
Also, I know that when people come here, you take them upstairs all the way to the top. And
exactly.
We've been up there and we have some views of it, and it's astounding what you can see. It's a beautiful, beautiful view.
Right.
Okay, when do you do tours? And just tell us a little about it.
Okay.
And how the people, well, we did the promenade walk. That's how they come down here and come to the gate. So tell us the hours and the time.
Okay. Yeah, we're open every third Saturday of the month, year-round. We're open from 10 a.m. to 3. We close the doors at 3, so we'd like people to get here by 2:30. And we do special tours if there's a group. If they contact me, if we can find somebody that in our time schedules can do it, we'll open it up on an individual basis like that. We have people coming around from all over the world. They're generally tours, group tours. And what we do is they contact me, I find out if we can get some help, and if we do, we open it up. And again, it's free of charge to everyone.
Well, I know on the short time we've been doing Hello Port Hueneme, we found the same thing at the Historical Museum, and here that there is so much history in this little town that goes back so far, and the detail that these museums have here are just amazing.
Right.
And it sounds like you really know what you're talking about, and I really want to encourage people to come down third Saturday every month, come down the promenade. It's a beautiful walk and a beautiful view, and come in and see Norm, and he will tell you everything about the Port Hueneme Lighthouse. Thanks for watching, and we will see you again shortly on our next Hello Port Hueneme.